Anu and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. I am so happy you joined me today for yet but another tutorial, and today I have a super cute tutorial to show you. You had asked me to create a pet bed with t-shirt yarn. It is my t-shirt yarn series this month. So first I showed you how to make t-shirt yarn from old abandoned t-shirts, and then we made little baskets last week, and this week we're going to create a little pet bed for whatever pet you have. I happen to have a dog and a cat. My dog is a Havanese, her name is Lexie, she's 10 pounds, and then I have a Siberian cat which is about the same weight, and her name is Luna. The cat thinks it's the dog thinks it's a cat, so it was very logical for me to make a bed for my dog shaped as a cat. Today's tutorial is super easy. The only things you need to know is chain and single crochet, and then I show you how to increase and how to decrease. I'll show you how to join yarn together, and that is it. All the rest is just me going slowly but surely, one step at a time, and taking you through this tutorial. Today I used a king size duvet cover, jersey one, old one, that I used for this tutorial. So I used all the king size. That was really a lot of work to create the yarn, but it was fun, and I love giving life to new things that I would not use anymore. And for the second color, it's actually store-bought yarn that I bought online. I will put all the information about this yarn and all the things that I used for this tutorial in the info box down below. You will find other sizes for this pet bed in my blog right there. I will put the address. So I wanted to give you options for bigger dogs, bigger pets as well. And as usual, it will be posted a few days from now. It takes a few days to translate the pattern into the blog. If you are not part of my crochet family, come and join. It's totally free. Subscribe to my channel, and also don't hesitate to click on the little bell on the side. That will send you notification every time I post something new, and so you will not miss a thing. I am looking forward to many more tutorials. Please don't hesitate to let me know in the info box down below what you would like me to create next. I think my next tutorial will still be t-shirt yarn because I'm into it, and I wanted to, a lot of you had asked me to create a bag made out of t-shirt yarn. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. But in the meantime, if you are interested in knowing how to create this beautiful pet bed, then keep on watching. I hope you are all doing well. Love you. Stay safe, stay healthy. Let's crochet. Bye. Alright, so here we have your crochet hook. This is an 8mm crochet hook. We're going to take our yarn and make a magic circle. We're going to begin our pet bed with starting with the middle, and we will be crocheting in the round. Chain 1 and then make 6 single crochets inside your magic circle. One more, and then grab your stitch marker, pull on the end yarn as much as you can to close the middle of your work, and just like that you are done with the first round of your project. I like to take a stitch marker so I know where my rounds begin and end. Since we are not slip stitching at the end of each round, we're just crocheting in the round. Alright, so here is the first stitch of your second round. You're going to make 2 single crochets in that same stitch. And this is what you're going to do all around your second round. 2 single crochets in each stitch. At the end of your second round, you will have 12 single crochets in total. Sorry about the dryness of my hands, you can see it there on the side of my nail and my thumb. It's the overwashing of the hands. I think we all have it. My hands are cracked and dry, but very clean. All right, so here we go. We are at the last stitch. We're going to make our 2 stitches in the last stitch, and we're going to move our stitch marker and put it on top of the last stitch of the second round. Here we go. And now we are at our third round. Pull on your end yarn to close the circle in the middle. Pull, 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 pull. And then for it not to unravel, make a little knot to secure it. And now it is secure and it will stay closed tightly. All right, so for the round number 3, we're going to, in the first stitch, make a single crochet. And then in the next stitch, we're going to make 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And this is what we are going to do all around for our third round. A single crochet, and then in the next stitch, 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And I will meet you at the end of your third round. At the end of your third round, you will have 18 single crochets in total. All right, so now for your fourth round, you move your stitch marker, place it on the last stitch. You're going to make a single crochet in the next 2 stitches. And in the third one, 2 single crochets in the same. A single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the third one. And you're going to do that all around this fourth round. At the end of your fourth round, you will have 24 single crochets in total. And I will meet you at the end of your fourth round. We are at our fifth round. Move your stitch marker again to the last stitch of the fourth round. And we're continuing. So for this fifth round, you're going to single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then in the fourth stitch, you're going to make 2 single crochets in the same stitch. And you're going to do that all around. At the end of the fifth round, you will have 30 stitches in total. Here we are at our 6th round, and for the 6th round you are going to single crochet 4, and in the 5th one you're going to make 2 single crochet in the same stitch. You will have 36 stitches at the end of this round, and you will continue like that. You know, in the next round you're going to have 5 single crochet and then 2 single crochet in the next, and then the next round you will do 6 single crochet, and you will do for as long as you wish for the size of your bed. My pet is a Havanese. She's 10 pounds, so she's small. So this is a small pet bed, but I will put other sizes on my blog as usual. Here is the address from my blog. So what we are creating is a big round circle, and for it to stay around the round 11, just move your stitch marker, just do 2 or 3 single crochets and then place your stitch marker, and that will become the beginning of your round. your next round, wherever you are. I'm at round 12 here. So it keeps the shape to be round. If not, if you keep increasing at the same spot, you will kind of have corners. It's not going to be all round. So that's a little trick I'm giving to you. And then you continue rounds and rounds and rounds until you get the size you want. Here I reached the end of my first skein of t-shirt yarn, and I'm going to quickly show you how to join with the next one. I did it also in my little baskets, but I'll show it to you again right here. So this is my the end of my first skein. I take my second one and I place the new one right below, parallel to the old one. Just like so. I go with my new one on top of the old one, and then I loop it underneath, creating a loop, and then putting the yarn in the middle of that loop, up and pulling. Now I'm taking my old yarn, wrapping it on top of the new one, and then under, inside the loop, and pull. Right now I have 2 sliding knots, and I'm going to show you how to tighten it. Pull on both yarn, the new and the end, as tight as I can. Take my scissors and I cut the little ends. And it's a very sturdy join that will be pretty seamless. Cut as close as you can to the knot, and voila. And now you continue to single crochet as usual, continuing your increasing and your creating of the circle. I'll show you here where you see the join. You're just incorporating it when you single crochet, and that's it. And it will be pretty seamless, I can guarantee you. Alright, so for my size bed, I had 17 rounds in total. I had at the end of my 17 rounds 106 stitches in total, and then I slip stitch and I fastened off. And just like that, I am done with the bottom of my bed. Now I have to create exactly the same circle, so from round 217 with 106 stitches, but at the end of that second circle I do not fasten off. Here is my second circle. That's actually the first one. The second one is in the bottom. I just going to secure it again with a few knots. Here we go. And I'm going to take my tapestry needle and sew in the loose tail in the back of my work. And then I'm going to place my 2 circles wrong side facing each other. So right side is facing me, joined with a new skein of yarn. And I'm ready to join my 2 circles together. Super easy, guys. I'm going to join my 2 circles just single crocheting through both of the circles. So they have their wrong side facing each other. Matching stitch to stitch, pass your crochet hook through the stitch of the circle closer to you, and then through the stitch of the circle further away from you. Yarn over through both of the stitches. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over through both of the loops on your hook, and that is what you're going to do all around your circle. Matching stitch to stitch and single crocheting through both of the circle, therefore attaching them together. And you're going to do that until 3/4 of the way, because we are going to fill this with polyfill to make it soft for your pet to be super comfortable. You fill it to your liking. If you want it stiff, you put more polyfill. I like it medium stiffness because I like it to be really, really soft for my Lexie. That's her name. That's my little Havanese love. Yeah, so right now it looks like a turtle shell. So fill it to your liking, and once you are happy with the result, you just continue single crocheting until the end of your round, closing the circle. All right, flip your work over. There you go. Good job. Now we are ready to begin to create the sides of our pet. You're going to chain 1, and this is going to be the round one of your size. Now you're going to, instead of taking both of the loops when you single crochet, look at the top of your single crochet, you have kind of a V. You're going to only take the back loop when you crochet. And you're going to make a row of single crochet, but only taking the back loop, and that will create that little edging, the 90-degree angle that we want for the sides. For the sides, we will no longer be working in the round, we will have rows. We're going to leave an opening for our little buddy to be able to go in his bed easily. So we're going to leave 12 stitches at the end of the round untouched. So you single crochet in the back loop only, 94 stitches in total, and then you stop. I will meet you then. So this is what your work will look like. We're creating the side. We're done with the first row. This is the opening you left. And what we're going to do now is just building rows to create the size, the wall of the size of your bed. But before we move to row 2, I would like you to finish this row by slip stitching in the next stitch. There we go. And then you're going to turn your work around and we're going to tackle row 2. For this row 2, I would like you to single crochet in each and every stitch of the row, and you will have 94 stitches in total at the end of this second row. And this is what your work will look like at the end of row 2. And let's tackle row 3. Alright, so we're going to decrease at the beginning of the third row. You're going to single crochet 2 together. You pass your crochet hook through the stitch, yarn over and back, 2 loops on your crochet hook. Pass your crochet hook through the next stitch, yarn over and back. You have 3 loops on your crochet hook, yarn over through all the loops, and you just decrease. And then you're going to just single crochet all along until the end of your row 3. At the end of your row 3, you will have 93 stitches in total. And you're going to single crochet in the last stitch right there, and right now you will have 93 stitches in total. We are at a row 4. Turn your work around, and we're going to begin again this row by decreasing the 2, turning the 2 first stitches into 1, the same way we did at the beginning of row 3. But then this row 4 will be also a row of decrease. So we're going to, after the first decrease, single crochet 6 stitches, so make 6 single crochets. And once you have 6 single crochets, you're going to turn the 2 next stitches into 1. And that's what you're going to do all along this 4th row. So you're going to make 6 single crochets, and then you're going to turn the next 1 into 2 stitches, the next 2 stitches into 1. And you're going to do that for 11 times more. At the end of your row 4, you should have 80 stitches about. If it's not exactly, it doesn't matter. The idea is to decrease, to make this row a little smaller than the one before. And I will meet you at the end of your 4th row. And for row 5, you're going to just make a row of single crochet all along. And I will meet you at the end of your row 5. And this is what your work will look like. We are beginning to see the side of your bed and taking shape. Super nice. This is the entrance, the opening, and really those are the 5 rows we just did. Very nice. Row 4 was the row we decreased every 6 stitches. Row 5 was a row of single crochet. And for row 6, we're going to do a row of decreases again. So we're going to single crochet 7. And then in the 8th stitch, you are going to decrease. And you're going to do that 10 times in total. So at the end of this 6th row, you will have 70 stitches in total. And now we are done with the blue, so you're going to fasten off. And I actually used for the second color for my bag. So it is a store-bought spaghetti yarn. And I really like the contrast between the blue and the black. I switched to a 7mm crochet hook. To join the new color, I made a slip knot with my new color. Here we go. And then I pass my crochet hook into my old stitch, the blue one, right there, and the new knot, and I pass it through the old knot. So the black through the blue, and just like that we are joined. All right, so what I'm going to do now is a border, beginning to create a border, and I'm going to do down the side of the opening, and I'm going to pick up single crochets along that side. And I picked up about 8 single crochets along the first side, right there. Here you go, and then I put 1 stitch in the corner stitch at the bottom. Right there, see that big opening there? You put 1 stitch there, voila. And then you pick up the stitches at the bottom. There should be 12. I don't know why I have 11, but that's okay. No worries. Who knows that I did? It's not supposed to be perfect. I love to have little flaws in my work. Perfection is overrated. And then again, I put a single crochet in the corner stitch. And then I pick up 8 single crochets going up on the other side of my opening. So we added 30 stitches in total once you are up your side, which means that at the end of our first black round, we should have 100 stitches in total back. But now we're going up the second side, picking up 8 stitches in total. And voila, and we are going to just continue single crocheting all around until we meet the beginning of our round. I will meet you then. And this is what your work will look like. It is so cute already. Seriously, adorable. Okay, so for the second round of black, we're going to define the corners a little. So in the first stitch, the corner stitch there of your second round, you're going to make 3 single crochet in that same stitch. And then you're going to go down your 8 stitches, creating a little angle. All right. So you're going to go down your 8 stitches. You're going to pick up regularly the 12 stitches at the bottom, going back up the 8 stitches. And once you are up the 8 stitches again, we're going to create a second corner. I'll meet you there. Here we are at the top. We did our 8 stitches. Now we're going to make 3 single crochets again in the corner stitch, as we did on the opposite side. So we gained 4 stitches in total. At the end of this round, you will have 104 stitches. I will meet you at the end of your second round of black. So right now it's very pretty, but it's pretty flimsy, and we need this wall to be pretty sturdy or else it will collapse on itself. So the third row, what you're going to do is only pick up this time the front part of your loop. So you're going to single crochet in only the front part of the loop, the front part of the V-stitch. Here we go. 1, and in the next, but picking up only the front part. So for this row, you're not going to pick up the sides or the bottom. You are only going to pick up the stitches that are on top. So we had 30 stitches there. So you should pick up 104 minus 30. So you should have 74 stitches, 74 single crochet that you are only picking up in the front loop only. It's hard to see, I know, with the black, but we already picked up in the back loop only when we did the when we began our wall, so you know what I mean. So front loop only, single crochet until you reach the other side of the opening. It will all make sense soon. All right, we are done with our third row of black. And now for the fourth one, you're going to chain 1, turn around. All right, so we are at row 4, and row 4 is going to be single crocheting, taking the whole stitch, not just the front loop. And at the same time, we are going to increase. Increasing is extremely simple. But you see, so the idea is that this is going to, we're going to create the second part of the side wall, which will fold on the inside like so, and match, of course, the blue one. Then we will fill it with polyfill. It will give a structure, so the walls will not collapse, and also your pet will feel secure inside. Going to do 7 single crochet, and then in the 8th stitch, you will make 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and that is an increase. And you will do that all along this row of black, this 4th row of black color, and you will do that from one corner to the next. So you will increase 9 times in total. At the end of this row, you will have 83 stitches in total. And if it's not exact, do not worry. The idea is just to increase in this row, for it not to be too tight on the inside and match the outside. All right, so we are at the end of this row. I am meeting you at the end of this row. So we have here a few more stitches to go. We already have 83 stitches with all our increases, but then I would like to increase in the stitch before the last, make 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So at the end of this row you will have 84 stitches in total, and then here is the last stitch. So what we're trying to do is to match the decrease that we did at the beginning with the increase that we're doing with the black color. So when we fold it, it matches the opening. All right, so we are done with our 4th row and we have 84 stitches or so. Turn around and your 5th row will be a row of single crochet all along. At the end of that 5th row you will still have 84 stitches in total. Six will be another row of increase. You're going to single crochet 7, and then in the 8th stitch you're going to make 2 single crochet in the next stitch. You're going to do that 10 times. At the end of this row you will have 94 stitches in total. I will meet you at the end of the 6th row. And here we are at the end of your 6th row. So what we're trying to do is to match the width of the side, the blue side, with the black side that we're doing. Since we are folding it inward like so, it needs to match. It needs to have the same height, and we need one more row for that. So here we go, chain 1, turn your work around. And for a row 7, we're going to switch back to the bigger size crochet hook, the 8mm one. There we go. And we are going to single crochet along that 7th row. And I will meet you at the end of your 7th row. So you see, when I fold it in half, it needs a few more rounds because I want it to be a little round kind of pillow side. So I'm going to add 2 more rows, just single crochet all along. So row 8 and 9, and I will meet you at the end of row 9. It's going to be time to attach the sides together, so we'll be able to fill it with Polyfill and create that inside wall and a comfy little pillow side for your pet. Alright, so we are done for now with the black yarn. You're going to fasten off. And now for the joining, we are going to use some blue yarn again, because we are going to stitch at the bottom. So just turn your work wrong side facing you. There we go. So you have the wrong side of your work facing you. And we are going to attach with the blue yarn the back side of the wall to the bottom of the blue side of the wall. So we're going to join to the first stitch the same way we did with the black yarn. Chain 1. And you're going to go to the first stitch right at the bottom of the opening, right there where my finger is, and also you can see clearly the wrong side of the blue side where we only had taken the back part of the loop at the bottom. You see that you can clearly see the seam, and we're going to take the stitch right under that seam. So you're going to go through the black part of your side first, and then you're going to go to the stitch right under the seam, and you're going to pass your crochet hook through it. See the seam right there? It's pretty visible. And you're going to pass your crochet hook through that stitch like so. Yarn over through the blue color, the black color, and through the first loop on your crochet hook. So it's a slip stitch. Through the next stitch on the black side, you're going to find exactly the next stitch right next to the first one you had gone through. And you're going to repeat. You're going to pass your crochet hook like so, yarn over and through all the both sides and the loop, and repeat. And this is what you're going to repeat all around. You're going to close the two sides together, assemble it, join them together, but you're still on the wrong side of your work. And this joining with a slip stitch with the blue color will be totally seamless. The important thing is to stay on the same row all around, following the seam. So go to the stitch right after the one you just took in the blue side. On the black side is super easy, you just follow stitch after stitch. The blue side is a little more tricky because you have to find the right stitch. So you see, that's the front of your work, that's the back of your work, and we're going to continue like that all around. But as you do that, I would suggest taking your polyfill, and as you go along, fill it with your polyfill a little bit at a time, because it can get really tricky since you're creating kind of a long sleeve all around the bottom of your pet bed. Pet bed. And here you go, here is the polyfill, and I stuff it as I go along. I am at the end and I am finishing putting my polyfill in. Take my scissor fast enough, and I am going to put it back to the right side. Here we go. So you see how it creates a little pillow around and how it's really sturdy. I love it. Stuff a little more polyfill on both sides, and then I am going to sew in all the loose tails inside and in the back of my work, and I am going to, with a tapestry needle, sew in the sides shut. Alright, so you sew in all the loose tails at the back of your work, and you tie a knot to secure them really well. And the basic body of your pet bed is done. You could just leave it like that, and that's a simple pet bed. But of course I wanted to give it some little personal touches, and I wanted it to look like a little kitty cat. So, and for that, we're going to begin by making 2 little cat ears. I made them black to match the top of the border, but I showed it to you with the blue one just for the tutorial purposes, for you to be able to see it better. I made a magic circle. I chained 1, and then I made 3 single crochets inside your magic circle. And that is your first round of your cat's ear. Pull on the end yarn. There we go. Now in each stitch, you're going to make 2 single crochets. At the end of your second round, you will have 6 single crochets in total. You can put a stitch marker if you want at the beginning of your round. And 2 in the last stitch. All right, you have 6 single crochets. You are done with your second round. Here you go, you are at your third round, and for your third round you're going to make 1 single crochet in the first stitch. And then 2 single crochet in the next stitch. And you are going to repeat this twice more. At the end of your third round, you will have 9 single crochets in total. And we are done with round 3. Let's tackle round 4. You can see it beginning to shape up. Now you're going to make 2 single crochets, and then in the third stitch you're going to make 2 single crochets in the same stitch, and repeat this twice more. 1 and another single crochet, and in the next stitch 2 single crochets. At the end of this round, this fourth round, you will have 12 stitches, 12 single crochets in total. Make your 2 last single crochets in the last stitch, and you are done with round 4. And now for round 5, you know it. You're going to make a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 2 single crochets in the next. And at the end of your 5th round, you will have 15 single crochets in total. And you continue to do that until you have the size ears that you would like. Adding 3 single crochet every round, evenly. Here is the last 2 stitches of the round. There you go. And this is a cat ear indeed. Let's add 1 more round. A single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 2 single crochets in the next. At the end of this round, you will have 18 stitches in total. I wanted a little bigger, so I did a 7th round where I had 5 single crochets and then 2 single crochet in the next stitch 3 times. and at the end of this 7th round I had 21 single crochets in total. Once I reach the end of my round, I make my 2 single crochets in the last stitch, and then I slip stitch in the next stitch to fasten off. Yep, this is the size I want. Perfect. Alright, so I wanted, of course, black ears for my cat, for my pet bed. I made 2 of the same, fastened off, and I left about an 8mm tail so I could sew in the ears on top of the opening of my pet bed right there. So it is about 10 stitches of sewing, just like so, one ear and then the next, with my tapestry needle, matching stitch to stitch with a very simple sewing stitch. Here is the result. It is so cute, and if you want it minimalist like that, you can just do cat ears, and then I'll show you how to make a tail and a whiskers. At the beginning I had put doll eyes, but they were too small, so I decided to use a button. Let me show you now how to create the whiskers, if you want to, of course. So the whiskers are really cute. They're kind of curly cues, corkscrew shape, and I'll show you how to make that, how to create that. I used a Berroco Comfort yarn, and I proceeded by chaining 40 chains in total. Once I have 40 chains, I'm going to single crochet in the second chain from my hook. And while I'm doing the corkscrew, I make sure I do not twist my chain. And I make 3 more single crochets in that same stitch. Then I go to the next stitch and make 4 single crochet in the same stitch. And making 4 single crochet in each and every one of the stitch will create that corkscrew shape. Here I am in the next stitch, and again 4 single crochet in that chain stitch, and 4 single crochet in the next, and in the next, and in the next, until you reach the end of your 40th chain. And you see how it's curling on itself? That's what you want. Look how cute! I love it. It reminds me of a little pigtail. Adorable. Alright, I will meet you at the end of the 40 chains once I had made 4 single crochet in each and every chain until the end. Alright, so this is what your work will look like. So cute. So you're going to make your 4 single crochets in the last few stitches, last few chains, 2 last ones in my case. I wanted 3 whiskers on each side. So now when you reach the end of your 40 chains, you are just going to make 40 more chains, and we're going to repeat all the steps we did for the first corkscrew. So making 40 chains, and then beginning from the second chain from your hook, making 4 single crochet in each chain. until we reach the end of our 40th chain and the beginning of the first corkscrew we had made. And we're going to repeat after that for a third time. So once you reach the bottom of the second corkscrew, you're going to again chain 40 and repeat for a third time until you have 3 whiskers. Here we are done with the second one. We're finishing it in the last chain of the 40th chain. We have 2 whiskers and we repeat the third one exactly the same. Here we go. Isn't it cute? It's adorable. Now you have 3 whiskers. You're going to slip stitch at the base of the first whisker, first corkscrew you had created, and you're going to fasten off, again leaving about an 8mm end yarn to sew the whiskers to your cat bed. And you're going to repeat for the other side, making 3 more whiskers. Using the end yarn that you left, you're going to sew your whiskers to the side of your pet bed. As for the tail, it's a corkscrew again. The same way we did the whiskers, we're just using the 8mm crochet hook and the yarn that we use for the ears. And again, we're doing 40 stitches, 40 chains in total. And then once you have 40 chains, you are just in the second chain of your hook going to make 4 single crochet, and then in each chain until you reach the end of the 40 chain, creating that same corkscrew effect but with thicker yarn, and that will create your tail. Here you go, you are at the end of your tail. You're going to fasten off, leaving an 8mm end tail, and you're going to attach it to the back of your pet bed, about centering it with the middle of the opening in the front. You can slip stitch, you can sew in the tail to the back of your pet bed, whatever you want. Here we go. And then sew in the loose tail at the back of your work, which is the inside of the bed right there. We are almost done, guys. So as I said, I didn't like my beady doll eyes, they were too small, so I took a big wooden button with 4 holes in it, and I took some Comfort Berroco black yarn and I sewed the buttons in with an X kind of stitch, and voila, just like that, we just finished our beautiful pet bed, which is a cat. And I love it, and my dog absolutely loved it. I think she really likes the fact that it smells like me and it's soft, and the minute I put it on the floor for her, she just took possession, and she has been in it every day since then, and it's so nice to see your work loved so much and so successful. And yes, it's such a pleasure. Voila, I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial as much as I have enjoyed creating it for you. I'm looking forward to many more. I hope you are all doing well, staying healthy and safe. And that's it. In the meantime, happy crochet. See you next time. I'm going to put all the... But that's the... So for this tutorial, I used a... Wow. Just wow. Let's crochet together. Crochet pet bed. What else can I tell you? I think that's all.